What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy with Trade Decoded. It is February 4th, 2025, and I got my first red day of the year today. The morning chart was fantastic. I completely botched it this morning by being overly aggressive. That aggressiveness turned into a trade that very quickly went against me, and I didn't react fast enough. And as a result, I talked myself into holding on to it, hoping I would get better. It never did. My first trade of the day was a 17.2% loss, which is about $1,650. And then I took two winning trades after that. Both of them combined didn't even bring me back to green on the day, but I was only red about $100 today, excluding fees and whatnot. So not the end of the world, but my poor performance this morning ended up shaking me a little bit to having emotional second and third trades. I am going to share those live trades in here with explanation during the trade. I'm trying to make things a little bit different, guys. I'm trying to be a little bit more efficient in these videos for you so that you don't have to watch for so long and I can cover the gist of what it is I was thinking and why I'm doing what I'm doing and all that fun stuff. So let me just show you the trades real quick on the charts. That's not the charts. This is the charts. During the open, I was prepared for puts simply because we were putting in lower highs into the open. We had a call line on the Qs at 519.47. We had a put line on the Qs at 518.45. Likewise, we had put line at 597.40 on SPY and 598.23. As you could see, when we got above the call line the very first time, we went right to the next resistance up on SPY. So the people who played that, good for you. Same thing on the Qs. We crossed over the call line, and then we made a straight shot right up to the pink line. Now, I was already in puts here because I was getting into this, completely ignoring the fact that ADD was printing green at the time. I liked the fact that we had breached. We were coming off of lower highs. This is a trade I don't feel bad taking. It only went south when this big green candle on the Qs showed up, and I didn't get myself out of the trade. I told everybody, and you'll hear it in the recording, if we get back above this blue line, that has to be our stop out. Okay, if we're going to play aggressive entries, we got to play aggressive stop losses. I missed it because I don't use mechanical stops. And when I missed it, I started to tell myself, just like everybody else does when they get into a trade that you thought was going to work and it doesn't. Well, we're at resistance here. Hopefully this one holds. We're at the next resistance here. Hopefully this one holds. You'll just keep talking yourself to zero. I was no different. Now, I ended up selling out of this trade at 938 for a decent loss. Fortunately, SPY wasn't moving nearly as aggressive in the opposite directions as Qs was. So it was only a 17.2% loss. I say only, could have been way worse. So on the Qs, it was probably a lot more if you were trading the Qs. But nonetheless, I was down $1,650 in 6-7 minutes? It's not a good way to start the day. Then my second trade of the day, you would have thought I would have learned from being aggressive on the first one. I'm going through these quick, guys, because I want you to watch the live versions of them. They're all in this video. We pulled back to support. Now, at this time, I didn't know this was support, okay? But it did look like a higher low. So I said to everybody, man, if we can get above this pink line, I'd like to play a higher low. ADD's printing green. Hopefully that the higher low pushes us through resistance up to the next resistance, just like I would play any other day of the week. Well, as luck would have it, pink line is the stink line. We rejected it the first time. We came back down, held above this support, which was my stop loss. Told everybody if we close back below 520.38, I'll stop myself out of the trade. It would be another red trade, and that would be it for me for the day. I have 2 red trades in a row limit, and I'm done for the day no matter what. Fortunately, we never closed below it. We held it as support. ADD kept helping us out. SPY broke resistance. Qs broke resistance. And like an idiot, I wasn't ready for the exit here. So I thought I got myself in trouble. We pulled back, turned the pink line into support. The next time we got up to that resistance, I went ahead and took myself out, only to watch that I left a lot of extra money on the table. Probably because I wanted to lock in profits to help mitigate what I had done to myself on the first trade. All the same rules apply today, guys. ADD pretty much trended up the entire time until 10:30 this morning. We were closing above resistances and making it to the next resistance. If you respected line-to-line trading or you respected higher lows, you shouldn't have been getting into puts at any time after, if you took the same trade I did, which was stupid, admittedly, but I had my reasons for doing it, and I paid the price for it. But higher lows, and we kept moving up until we didn't. We got all the way up to these lines up here on SPY and on Qs. I took one final trade of the day. This one ended up being, so the second one was only a 9% win, by the way. The second one was 11.3%. And we had moved up to resistance. By the way, some people played this close above up to the next line. Beautiful trade there. We pulled, and ADD was pushing green, so it was good. Everything this morning was good. We hit resistance, we pull back, we create a new support, okay? At first, I was looking for a retest all the way down here. Q's built a new support higher up. That's fine, that's okay. Didn't get in here. We got back up to resistance. We pulled back. On our way back down here, I told everybody, guys, Q's is still trending up. ADD is still trending up. We had a nice support level here. If you want to buy your calls here, as long as we stay above that support, we're aiming to get right back up to the resistance we just came from. Hopefully more, but that's what I was aiming for. Ended up taking my entry here, got my exit there, took myself out of the trade. 11.3% win. But again, those two small wins combined didn't quite make up for the $1,650 loss that I took on the opening trade. Instead, I was down only $100 by the end of the day, excluding fees. But that said, this is an 80-cent channel. Okay, that's worth noting. It doesn't look like it on this chart because we squished things up to fit more of them on here. The pullback was nice. I mean, we got it down to here. Now, SPY didn't quite make it up to its resistance, but it doesn't matter. Qs did. I got in because of the Qs. I got out because of the Qs. After that, we kind of traded sideways, even though SPY slowly grinded its way up to this resistance here. Qs wasn't making us feel real good. We had a couple of breakouts and close above resistances that didn't result in a move continuing up to the next resistance. It didn't help that ADD was moving sideways at this point. And just nothing felt good up until the time I got off the mic at 12 o'clock. And then that was that. So we were really waiting for a move below the Qs, this level here at 523.44. Now, as luck would have it for the people who stayed and kept trading, we did get a nice break below that. And we were waiting for that all day. I was waiting for it, but 12 o'clock came before it happened. So I didn't get to see it, but congrats to those of you who were patient and waited for that setup. You got to make good money. Now, without further ado, I am going to go ahead and launch the live trades for you. I've cut them down. I've let you listen to my entry. I do some brief explanation as to what I'm looking for, hoping for. Then I speed up and I do a voiceover on that instead of elevator music. And then I let you guys hear the exit on all three trades that I took today. All right, so enjoy, and I'll see you on the other side. It is 9:25, and that means we got to figure out what we're going to do here. I have a put level that I would want to be below. I think if we can get below 597.40, I'd like to see us move down to our first orange line from there to the upside. To the upside, I gotta say, I think I'd rather be above, and it's not a big move. There's not a lot of room left unless there's some momentum behind us that carries us through that pre-market high line. 598.23. It's we didn't quite make it there on our last trip to the north, but just above that level, we couldn't get through it before. So I'd want to be above 598.23, looking for 598.48, hopefully more, depending on what's going on in the market. To the downside, I'd hope to break this support. We talked about this support level during our charting session, guys. Look, it held here. It's in existence right now. Below that, it gets a little choppy and low volume. So my hope would be that we get through this line and head straight down to the next orange line. Don't know if that happens or not. It's about a 50-cent drop. I can make good money in 50 cents, and so too can you if you decide to take that. On the Qs chart, we would want to be, Qs are a little bit more difficult, but I would say if we get above the pre-market midline, we stand a decent chance of continuing up a little bit, at least enough to make some dollars. And we too have a support line that we just created here on the Qs. So we want to be above 519.25 on the Qs for calls, and we want to be below 518.45 for puts. And hope that we get to the next respective lines above and below those white ones. For those of you who are watching that don't understand, this here is a supply zone. I don't normally mark these on my charts, but I can't ignore, while we were doing our charting session, what seems to be going on in here every time we've touched it since we've closed above it. So for those of you who were watching and listening that weren't in the charting session, every time we've got in here with these wicks on the 30-minute chart, we've struggled to get through it. In fact, we've not done so successfully. So if you are in puts if we come down to this third orange line down on the Qs, you'd probably want to tighten up your stop loss, hope that we chew through this quickly. But it's been a difficult task ever since it's been created. Okay. So that's why that green box is there. We are putting in lower highs as of right now on the Qs. So for me, that just means that I'm just going to be prepared for puts. Don't need to jump into anything aggressively unless you want to. As you guys know, I tend to trade aggressively usually, and that's just because I want to get it out of the way and it works for me. But if you're not an aggressive trader, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You should be conservative and do what you have to do and whatever makes you comfortable. So if we are putting in lower highs, I plan to be done trading by then, CGZ, hopefully. We do have 10 o'clock reports today. We have 10 o'clock reports today that are going to be that are going to move the market. They're jolts. So we'll see how it is. But I am going to be prepared for puts simply because currently we're putting in lower highs. Doesn't mean it can't turn around and go north from here. The other problem we have to take into consideration is most of the top 10 is green. So that inherently makes things a bit more risky to the downside. We'll have to see what ADD opens up at. Let's get these call put lines on our multi-chart layout here. Market is going to open in 18 seconds. Okie dokie. Where is our ADD going to open at? Okay. 9:30. Ding, dingy, dingy. All right, Qs are putting some pressure on that support level now. ADD, SPY is trying to come down to support. ADD is where? Okay, ADD is printing red. Qs trying. What are those contracts worth, Austin? Yeah, contracts are going to be expensive today. I haven't even looked yet. I'm about to open it. And, oh, good Lord have mercy on my baby's soul. My goodness. That takes the wind out of wanting to be aggressive. But, nice, dude. Good job. ADD is holding things up at the moment. SPY struggling to move higher, but sitting on that support level. Qs not closing below that support level either. But ADD is okay with moving up. I'd love to see the Qs close below that 518.45, but right now they're holding that level. If you are taking puts here, guys, you want SPY to stay below 597.81, and you want Qs to stay, if possible, below this pre-market high line. I'm going to take this, I think. I'd like to see Qs come down, obviously. But ADD is not helping the case, which is probably not the wisest thing. I like the selling that's happening on the Qs for now. If the Qs could get down to 518.10, that would be fantastic. But if they don't break this support level, or if ADD doesn't slow its roll, this would be a problem. All right, if ADD would start printing some red, I'd feel a lot better. Qs, again, struggling to move higher, at least for a second they were. That's no bueno.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
All right, guys, instead of you sitting here watching in real time me talk myself into staying in a losing trade, I figured I'd speed the section up and basically tell you I got in a little too aggressively and the trade went against me too quickly. And then I spent the next 6 minutes talking myself into holding this, hoping to get lucky. I did not get lucky. I ended up losing $1,650. And then we got to find 2 new trades that were much more comfortable that you can watch now. All right, I'm out, guys. Obviously, got my ass handed to me. Sweet. Now, if the Qs could get a close above the pink line, I'd expect that they're going to run up about 80 cents from there. And we're coming off higher lows. I think I'm willing to take the risk here. I'm going to go ahead and take it. All right, in this second trade, you would have thought I'd learned about being too aggressive based off of my first mistake. But nope, this time we were pushing up against the pink line on the Qs chart, but we were coming off of a higher low and ADD was printing green. Now, any other day of the week, I would do the same thing I did today, which would be get in aggressively, assuming that we were going to break that resistance and continue up to the next resistance. It did that, but not before it pulled back. Now, the Qs stayed above the support line that I was willing for it to stay above. So that's why I stayed in the trade. Ultimately, we did get up to our next resistance on the Qs. The first time I missed my exit, the second time I took the exit, and that ended up being a winning trade that was 9% win. Still left me red on the day, though. Let's go on to the third trade. I'm actually resetting my stop now. Just got stopped out. If you're buying calls here, then your stop loss has to be if the Qs close below 523.42. Or if SPY closes below the pink line, you call it. I'm in. So if you're buying the pullback, you need the Qs to stay above 523.42. And we want to get up to 524.22. All right, in this third and final trade, I basically bought the pullback on the Qs and I only wanted to play it up to the resistance. And that's exactly what I did. That ended up being an 11.3% win. And left me still red on the day, but much less red than after the first trade. When do you want to consider holding through resistances? If you didn't get out, you have your opportunity to get out now. I'm out. All right, guys. Well, I hope you got some useful information in that video. Today wasn't the greatest day for me. It was a poor performance. It was my first red day of the year. Not a huge red day, but a red day nonetheless, which is kind of good. I get it out of the way. I get to relieve that stress of saying, when is it going to come? Because it's not if, it's when, right? Nobody has a 100% win rate. I'm included in that. Today, I tried to recover from my red trade, couldn't do it. And I followed my rule of 3 trades max per day, which I don't like to make it to even 3 trades. I'd much prefer my first trade of the day is green, and then I can be done. And that's pretty much it. So if you got any useful information out of this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to join our Discord community, we'd love to have you. There is a link down below. And if you'd like to buy my book, well, you can get it. It looks just like this, and you can find it on Amazon or in the link of any one of my current videos or recent videos and on my YouTube page. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you had a great day. Till tomorrow, I love you. See you.